elevated, now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go. Graduated, elevated, now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go. Major moves, power moves, take it to the top one time non-stop. Gotta go, gotta flow, take it to the...
So I'm going to ask a question. You've just said something there that we don't have a teaching assistant, for example. If we're going to forecast into the future, which is what you're doing, and we look at our lives in the next 10 to 15 years, we know that a lot of jobs will be redundant. So that for the work that we're doing, pretty much, even professors, I think some subjects, you know, if you're learning about tectonic plates, for example, you know, I don't know what else they're going to because I only did geography. This is an example, by the way, don't come for me. To say, I don't know what else they're going to. Do you feel like it will be difficult for people to have careers, and where are we going to get the means financially to sustain ourselves? Because if you don't work, you don't eat. So that becomes problematic to me, to say, I love your idea, but I know somebody's going to lose a job or two.
No, this is scary. This is really scary but people have to, they must find the alternate ways. They must, because in Norway, for example, the government has declared within 2030 or something, there will be no usage of the diesel running car. There will be just electric vehicle. Think about all those people who used to work in the gas stations. Think about all those petroleum sectors who have been supplying the petrol or the diesel to the cars, where they're gonna go. Or, as you have said, that the professors, I have seen that some of the researches were done by AI, actually, no human. So maybe after 15 years, me, Faria, I would become unemployed because there will be some machines or robots taking over my research and working on that. So what I can do, I can start operating those robots, because if I can build the technology, I'll be running that. Okay, now let's build the technology then. This is how we can survive. We're just moving from one phase to another. People have been moving, right? Primary, secondary, tertiary, machine, like modernization, scientific, over scientific. So I think people will be changing their paths as well, because those machines have to be made by humans ultimately, right? So I think, yeah.
Okay, so I love your response, because you were like, well, do you know what, I'll crack on and build one. Yeah,
just trying to be normal. Just trying to be normal. That's what machines can do. That's what machines can't do. They can't control the temper. They don't have any, till now, maybe they're not supplied with the emotions yet, but maybe in the near future.
But yeah. Okay, that's why I said I love your response. If we went to a country somewhere and somebody is still saying, in order for me to feed my family, I need to go to the city. Right? They're a farmer somewhere in a village, and they're saying, to change my destiny and to break the poverty cycle, I need to go into the city. They're not thinking I can build one. They're still thinking, I'm going to change my life by going into the city. So what do we do with those people? Because this is amazing. And like I said, I appreciate your response and I love it. I would say the same thing. But then what happens to that group?
In my model, I have discussed 4 stages: learning, understanding, developing, and optimization. So learning comes first. We have to educate those people, or they have to learn and they have to understand how to take the actions, and they can optimize it after all. Because what you have said, that there are people who need to go to the city and feed their family and everything. Why don't bring the services, like why not attracting the services towards us? Why always pushing, try to pull? for example, how can I say, if okay, the modern marketing, what it says, you just sit at home, order, we're gonna deliver. The ultra modern marketing came up with the delivery by using a drone, maybe not even human. So, so I have pulled the service to me. I didn't go out. I didn't go shop. I didn't waste my time. I didn't come back, and then I didn't feed my family. Someone else's came. I took the things from them. I fed my family. So I just tried the pulling factor rather than pushing. Yeah.
And I appreciate that. But then I remembered I watched iRobot. I don't know if you've seen it with Will Smith. Now that didn't end up so well, did it? It's just,
we have to try. We have to try. We have to make it. We have to make it work. AI algorithm, AI features, and AI applications.
I appreciate that. So, on to the next question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Being unemployed. That's what we have discussed, right?
Pretty much to the T.
Okay.
So in terms of anybody who's thinking to go into research, right? What words of wisdom do you have for them to say, you should think about A, B, C, D, or you don't have any?
Well, if anyone wants to go for the research, the first advice, if I want to be an honest person right now, forget about the social media, forget about this interview, forget about everything, just by being Faria, I would say don't go. But yes, professionally, if I think in a more professional way, yeah, okay, just choose the sector which has a future, number one. Number two, because the PhD runs for many years, don't choose any sector. The importance gets lost like within 3 years of time, but your PhD is not done yet. So then, it's a disaster. And choose a field which will be helpful for your career. It's not like, okay, people are doing this, let me do this as well. Just don't follow the trend. Don't follow the trend, and pick something innovative, because like digital marketing, this topic is not new. Over years, people have been working on this, and there are very little research gaps. Even there are no research gaps, people just making it up. Okay, there have been research gaps, but no, trust me. But I have chosen something, and this has also a drawback, because no paper has been published before it. So this is so much new in the market. People are so much unaware of it that they are not even paying attention to it sometimes. They're like, okay, when it will come, we will see, something like that. And very hard to find the papers, very hard to work on it. I literally went door to door, knock people and ask, how did you work, how you're working, starting from the startups till mid-sized firms, taking their interviews, getting their schedules. And yeah, Norway is a very reserved, cultured country. They don't want to share. And this field is very new. It's not like that some of the firms didn't think about it. Maybe they thought they have their own research team, they're working on those. Of course they're not going to share those with me. But yeah, so that is how the future researchers should work. Like, choose something which is new, be the pioneer. Maybe it can work, maybe it won't. If it doesn't work, just think that it's not your fault. Come up with other solutions, because no ideas are stupid. If you just can present it on the table, people are bound to eat at least a spoon of it. People are bound. That's what I think. Yeah.
No, I love your honesty, and I think from some of the questions anyway that we'll go into, you've literally touched up on some of the questions that I get in terms of DMs, private DMs, where people aren't sure of their decisions, or they've applied to 10 and they get a response, but they just want to relocate. Their heart is not in the PhD. Literally, they just want to leave their home country. So thank you very much for being detailed there. In terms of self-funding then, I think I asked the previous guest in series 1 and they were like, don't do it. It's hard work. Working a job and doing a PhD is like suicide every day because you're stressed.
Yes.
So what's your you're agreeing instead of answering the question?
Yes. And when you're a woman or you're a female, you have a kid, you have a family, just don't think of it. Just relax, take a cup of coffee, watch a movie, let it go. How I felt it actually last couple of years, and people I have taken help from. Honestly, my supervisor, I don't have a supervisor actually, it's an independent research. Once it's done, then you take it to the platforms. This is something like that. Then the platforms will decide whether I'll buy this idea or not. So, but then I have asked a little bit help from one of my previous supervisors who helped me in my master's thesis and everything. He actually left me in the middle of my study. He just vanished. He didn't show up. I don't know. He just broke the treaty. He just breached the contract. There was no contract, but at least the word of mouth, he broke it.
That's a psychological contract.
I was so disappointed. Many times I thought of quitting, just quit, okay. But yeah, ultimately I have done it. At least some practical things need to be done. But yes, I have come up so far with the help of others, directly or indirectly, and yeah.
No, well done in that. I think, I think it was Dr. Francis. So I think he's an MD of a business in Australia. Now he was working full time running that and doing his PhD. He took 8 years to finish it and he was self-funding. And
at least he did it.
He did it, yes.
Right? Yeah. That's what it matters at the end of the day. Okay, he did it.
He did it.
How he did, that's not the factor.
It doesn't matter. And that's why I'm saying, I appreciate your honesty, because I think people think it's easy when they're seeing you on the internet, but they don't actually know how hard you're fighting and how your knuckles have gone from maybe brown to pitch black because you keep knocking on doors and no one's opening. Literally. No. Metaphorically, that is.
Yeah. Yes.
So I appreciate that. So we're just going to move on to some questions. Do you think that higher education breaks the poverty life cycle?
Higher education brings the poverty
breaks
life
the poverty
life
breaks
cycle. Yes. If you want to develop a nation, feed them with knowledge first, then comes the food. Because knowledge is the food of life. If you have knowledge, you have everything. If you don't have knowledge, you have nothing. Doesn't matter how much money you have, like your family has, or maybe you're the owner of a gold mine, but you don't have a knowledge how to extract those gold, make the jewelry of it, and sell it. So you have nothing. You just have a mine, that's it. So sit in front of the mine, look at the sky, and just say, oh, I need food. So this doesn't help.
Wow. That's deep. I love that.
this research has made me a deep thinker.
You are.
I've started thinking, oh my God. Oh, now my brain works in multi dimensions. 3 dimensions is so much less for me now.
I love it. It's all about logic and reasoning and knowing your blind spots, isn't it? And always not being reactive, but thinking before being reactive. If you're being asked questions, that is. So the next question is, do you feel fulfilled when you publish an article?
Yes, I do, and especially when I see that that the article has been cited by someone else. I was like, wow,
That's me.
yeah, someone has felt like, let's take some things from this paper. So, yeah.
Love that. So any words of encouragement for somebody who feels like they need to resign from their PhD?
I would say that if it does not break that person mentally, like 100%, that person cannot even go a step further, then I think what is better for their mental health, they should consider. But I would say that it's better to be a fighter than a quitter. Like sometimes quitting is a utmost level of fighting, but in very rare cases, but mostly yes, when you finish it, you're like, I've just done it. It's just like a delivery, when you're done, this is so much relaxing when you look at the baby and everything. So PhD is the thesis is a baby actually. It's yeah. A labor, a baby, a reproduction cycle, like maybe it finishes within 9 months, but a PhD, it takes more, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, the longest delivery. So ultimately, when you come up with that, you're like the most successful person in the world at the moment.
I love that. Thank you very much. The other question that I received was basically, it was more of a statement and a question in the same breath. So my PhD, my supervisor for my PhD has advised his friend not to hire me for a postdoc. What should I do?
The supervisor advised his friend not to hire. Well, go to someone else who actually needs your talent, because the person, for example, if person A suggested person B not to hire person C, the person B is the most dumb person to listen to person A without even judging the qualities, without even judging the specialties. If I'm not hired by company A, that is their loss, not mine, because someone else will hire me, someone else will hire me, and I can sell my brain to them, I can give my productivity to them, and they will be the gainer, he will be the loser. So think like that, because every person is an asset. You have something which I don't have, which many doesn't have, which many don't have. So every person is unique. What the person can do, just knock some other doors. The right door will be open soon. So yeah.
I love that, and I think it's detailed, and I think sometimes, just to add on, sometimes our emotions, they cloud our judgment, don't they? Because I'd like to think that two professional individuals would never sit down and agree, especially in academia, because we're always wanting to get more funding to keep our jobs. So why would I say no to a student? Unless if their behavior and conduct was questionable, then maybe I would say no if it was me, but we don't know the entire full picture in terms of the big picture here. But I love your response, so thank you very much. You'd be glad to know that this is the last question.
Okay.
So do you think, in your opinion, PhD hard talk is benefiting researchers in universities alike, or do you think Noma, just call it a day, it's crap, PhD hard talk is not worth it?
Well, I have been following PhD Hard Talk in the X, which was previously Twitter. And I loved this platform because we can say whatever we like. Like we can share our frustrations, what we're having in academia. We can share our thoughts, and people are appreciating. We're getting all the people who are in the same platforms, and I used to feel so relaxed. And even before the Halloween, I think I tagged your page. I say that okay, the Halloween costume, I can be the root supervisor. That's my Halloween costume.
Yeah.
And that's the most scary costume, like worse than the Michael Myers, I guess, from the movie Halloween, actually. So I love I love this platform. It's not a crap, of course it's not. It has been supported me, and I have been sharing my thoughts in PhD Hard Talk since like last couple of years. Love this platform. It's my
Oh.
opinion.
No, thank you. I appreciate you. And I think sometimes we try to engage, but then you always think, because it's quite difficult, whereby we've responded to certain tweets and then people come back and say, well, that's wrong. Then you think, oh, there's so many woke people. Sometimes it's just a joke, and it's just that fine line. But I think we too, as a team, in terms of me and my team, we're trying to find our feet, but it's such a sensitive world on the internet that is quite difficult sometimes to joke back, if that makes sense.
Like I feel pity for those people who cannot take things lightly. Like they're just so much into their work and into their mental pressure. They're so much surrounded by their own pressure that they forgot that people can smile, people can laugh. There is something else to do out of their piles of work. So it's their failure too, that they don't have a good sense of humor.
Well, I thank you very much. I'll call you Dr. Faria because maybe this will be out when you're now a doctor. So I'm gassed for you. So thank you very much for your time today, and I appreciate our discussion. Don't forget at home to share, like, and subscribe on YouTube, and to follow on socials. Next thing, don't forget, is hashtag project dissemination to the world and hashtag sustainable knowledge to the world. Thank you so much, Dr. Faria.
Thank you so much, Noma. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, PhD Hard Talk, for having me. It was wonderful.